Hi, Richard Hemming here, founder of Under the Radar Report. It is great to be back. I've been spending so much time catching up with companies. I had to report back to you guys. Basically, I've been hosting at the Australian Microcaps conference in Melbourne. There's been a great deal of fun. Met so many people, so many companies, so many other small cap addicts like myself. But I've got to say, the big takeout for me was the improvement or the basically improvement in the small caps that we're seeing, both in how they're presenting their story and also in the fundamentals of the companies themselves. It's getting very, very intense out there. These guys have stories that are just starting to hit the ground, and I can't wait to bring them to subscribers. Like a couple of small caps in the past, Drone Shield and Dicker Data, have really gone on to do big things. In fact, their definition for microcaps is sub 300 million market cap. Well, more than double digits, more than 10 have gone on to be well over $1 billion. And, we're happy to say that we're right in the thick of it, looking for those stories. So why has the standard risen? Well, basically these stocks are, they're not in the index. So they're not in the ASX 200 index. They're not even in the ASX 300 index. They are fighting for capital. So these guys, these executives are really fighting hard, and they have to hone their story down. They have to make sure their fundamentals are really improving all the time. And we're starting to see that with the traction that companies are getting, in real time. So basically, some of the standouts actually were at the really small end. I can't talk about them right now because they're small, but they are highly speculative companies that we'll be covering in our subscriber picks in this week and the next week. So that's something for subscribers to look forward to. If you like a punt, well, you can go to the Melbourne Cup, but my advice is to stick to some of these real micro caps. That's where your returns are going to be really big over time. So let's get into it. All of the companies at the conference are speculations to varying degrees. Two I love keeping an eye on, presented at this conference and actually a year ago. They've been basically just hitting the ground running and are doing really well. Check out their share price charts. Race Oncology, StarPharma, both biotechs. These companies, I would say, are at the low risk end of the biotech spectrum. Like, look at StarPharma. That's been around for a long time. They've got this great platform, this dendritic platform, which reduces the risk for other biotechs in terms of the delivery agent for different drugs. This company now has an agreement with Genentech, the biggest, probably highest profile biotech that I'm aware of. They're now owned by Roche. They're US based. And basically, StarPharma is now starting to get revenues or milestones payments from Genentech, which is a big deal. The other one, Race Oncology, I really like because it's a reformulation of an existing chemotherapy, Bizantrine. So this reduces the risk, reduces the heart risk for people taking these sort of highly toxic treatments. So it's a great story, but also it's starting to really get onto investors' radars, and it's worth checking out. One I introduced is our subscribers will be well aware of, Hazer. So you can see our research online. This one has IP that takes waste and produces hydrogen out of the waste, out of methane. Very exciting story, but involves big capital investment from other companies. But that's starting to happen. Like Fortis, it's around the corner. Fortis have a big hydrogen plant. It's 2,500 tons a year. They're using Hazer technology. So FID, financial investment decision, is around the corner. So worth keeping an eye on. Very excited about this company. Plus, they have a big deal with KBR, a big engineering firm that's done like the Pluto project for Woodside. This gives them tentacles all around the world, and more deals will come their way. One that I also presented that we're holders of, Big River. Well, this is definitely a company where value exists. This company produces construction products. So it's been a very difficult time for them, but they've managed to pay dividends all the way through. And who knows when the construction boom is really going to take off. But the one thing is clear, the house approvals keep rising, completions have flatlined. So that gap just has to narrow at some point. So that's one definitely to keep an eye on. There are loads of other stocks, and we'll be releasing analysis on the stocks with big potential because that's what we do. This is where the excitement really is in small caps. We've also got some new stocks coming up because there is big value in small caps. Look forward to talking to you soon.